itch. Here's what's coming. Inflation. Now, you listen to the people on television, and look, I'm not an economist. I'm a high school educated guy. And maybe that's why I can see things that other people can't, because I don't have that big old head where it's been filled by the so-called experts. I pursue these things myself. I try to figure it out myself. And I look at what's happening in our country, and I listen to the experts say, oh, no, it's fear-mongering inflation. That's not going to happen. Did you see last month we had the lowest increase since World War II? Really? Really? That was last month. You remember the chart I showed you, last night and the night before? This is a wonderful, wonderful chart. Here is what you're paying for groceries right here. This is what you're paying for food. This is the commodities chart. Now, you'll notice that it's kind of going up, but it's relatively flat. But this seems to be a big, huge spike. So what happens now? What happens? Do you think this little blue line's going to go up? Or do you think companies are just going to keep eating all of this? The companies are paying more for the stuff that produces the stuff that you get at the grocery store. When the prices you pay finally go up, the administration and the people in Washington, everybody, will no doubt blame the evil companies for gouging you. But companies this is not the goodwill. This is not the Red Cross. They're running businesses. They've been eating the increase now for 2 years, but they can't continue to do that forever. And would you want them to? Should you want them to? If they don't make money, they're going to have to lay off workers, who then can't buy products, which causes them to go out of business, which causes then now everybody to lay off even more workers. You see how it just doesn't stop? At some point, they have to pass on the increase to you. It's already been announced. The price of cereal is going up 5% later this month. General Mills said can't do it anymore. Domino's, $5.99 pizza, now going up by $2. We can also expect the increases in the prices of wheat, tires, butter, milk, corn, and so much more. We went here in New York shopping, which is always a joy to go shopping in New York. Here's the list of items that we got. Here's the receipt. Chuck roast. Chuck roast. The cost of chuck roast is up 13% in the last year. Whole milk is now up 10%. Sugar. Where's the sugar? Here's the sugar. So we disguised it. You'll never guess who the maker of this sugar is. Sugar is now up 9%. Large grade A eggs is now up 7%. Why? Well, according to the National Inflation Association, cotton prices are up 54%, corn prices are up 29%, soybean prices are up 22%, sugar prices are up 51%. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen to the grocery store? Now, we are in New York City, where a studio apartment with a shared bathroom down the hall and really nasty neighbors costs you just shy of $100,000 a month. So what's happening here isn't necessarily happening in your neighborhood, except in the grocery store. This list, what we have on the table, cost $79.51. Now, let me show you some companies that say, uh-oh, here comes trouble. Kroger has said they're going to have to raise their prices, or they have just raised them. Same with McDonald's. Same with Safeway. I just told you about Domino's Pizza. Morton's Steakhouse. Yes, Laurie. This one. Giant Eagle. Sara Lee. Kraft. General Mills. Starbucks. Kellogg's. So why? Why? Why is the price of everything going up? I thought they promised us no inflation. Really, remember? And we're sending all the money around the world, and it's going to be great, and one big happy family, and we just keep printing more money. How is it costing us more for cereal? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Why does coffee cost more, Glenn? One, the emerging world. Oh my gosh, places like India. There's more demand for meat, eggs, cheese, wheat, rice, cereal. Because the emerging countries, because they have big demands now, the same countries that we're being told here we have to lower our lifestyle so the other countries can have more. This is all by design, gang. The only way to make you consume less is to make things more expensive, and the emerging economies can make more. It brings us all into balance, you see. It will cost you more because the rest of the world is consuming more. This is the way it's going to be in this new world order that they're creating. Second, they're devaluing our dollar. Washington is doing this, the Fed is doing this, and spooky dudes like George Soros. What was it he said?
So an orderly decline of the dollar is actually desirable.
An orderly decline. I love those orderly declines where they don't say, hey, you know what this is going to cost you in 5 years? No, it's an orderly, a managed decline. It's just slowly in dribs and drabs. And your money is worth less. Because the world is spooked by what we're doing, because we've got a president now, and this is no big deal. In the grand scheme of things, this is nothing. Taking a giant trip over to India that I can't figure out. And I'm not even worried about the money. I'm worried about his safety. What is he doing? Because the rest of the world can't figure us out, and they're spooked because we are now printing more money because nobody wants to buy our bonds. Well, what happens? What happens? By the way, is it today Thursday? Yeah. Tomorrow's show, Friday. I'm going to show you this chart. I'm going to go through this chart. This is one spooky-ass chart. Starts on day one. Oscar, you're looking, no, seriously, don't move. We're just talking about day one. Stand where you are. Don't. Day one, China says no more bonds. Okay? From day one, China says no more bonds. We're not going to buy any more U.S. bonds. It's 15 days to the new world order. 15, and your world changes. Now, if you would be scared of what would be coming next, if you're in the rest of the world and you're like, okay, I don't really know. I got gobs of money. What do I put it in? What do I invest it in? I don't know if I trust bonds. I don't know what I trust anymore. What do you buy? Well, you don't. If you think that maybe times are going to be a little tough, you don't necessarily, put your money into a company that's going to be making those 200-inch plasmas. You look for something stable. What does the world always need? Food, corn, rice, wheat, commodities. So who's putting their money there? Speculators. Evil speculators. Speculators put their money into commodities because they are speculating that two things are happening. One, the emerging world is going to have more need for more food. Two, the dollar is going to be worth less. If these are the things of real value, they're not evil speculators. The government is creating the conditions making these speculations reality. Who's one of the biggest speculators in the world? George Soros. Soros has been on the record here for what, 2 months? Buying up commodities, saying you should buy up commodities. Well, of course food is going to go up by design. And yesterday, the Fed made sure that your dollar would be devalued. They are monetizing our debt. Monetizing our debt. Printing more than $600 billion. Now, if we were on the gold standard, and we just struck a $600 billion gold mine, that would be great, because then I just lost the gold coin. Here it is. Everybody on the set's freaking out. What do you mean you lost the gold coin? Then our money would be backed up by something. Gold. Gold. And so it would be fine. But since we didn't hit a gold mine, what are we backing it up with? Nothing. We devalue the value of your dollar. It's not backed up by anything, so we just create $600 billion more dollars, monopoly money, more paper floating around, driving down the value of what is really in your pocket, unless you had this. Before we went, when was this made? 1879. This is a gold coin, US, 1879. I could have gone into a store. This is a $20 gold piece. Could have gone into a store for 20 bucks and bought a couple of good suits, really good suits. Today, I can take this gold coin and walk into Saks Fifth Avenue and buy a couple of good suits. The gold hasn't changed, just the $20 marking on it has changed. Your dollar isn't worth as much because we don't back it with anything. That's what's happening with QE2, the quantitative easing. We did it yesterday. And what is it? It's a hidden tax. It's a tax on you and me and every American, especially the working class, because it's a tax that hits them the hardest.